You're welcome. I came early and did that.
We're on, okay. Good afternoon. My name is Tom Romaine. I'm the chair of the Tree Advisory Commission. I'd like to call the July 1st meeting of the Tree Advisory Commission to order. So a roll call in attendance. Would the commissioners introduce themselves, starting with Commissioner Dearson?
Commissioner Greg Dearson, present.
Commissioner Arlen Body.
Are the advisors to the advisors?
Tom Schmitz, Park and Recreation Department.
Jeff Huffman, City of New Ulm Street Superintendent.
City Engineer Stadheim.
Thank you. Moving on to the approval of agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, so moved by Dearson, seconded by Body to approve or amend the July 1, 2021 agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, are there any amendments to the approval, to the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Moving on to the approval of minutes of the May TAC minutes. Can I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay,
Second.
yep. Moved by Body, seconded by Dearson to approve or amend the May 6th meeting minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any amendments to the minutes of the May meeting? Hearing none. Moving on to old business. Item 5.1, 2021 City Reimbursement Programs and Budget Update. Mr. Stadheim.
Right, thank you, Mr. Chair and Commission members. We've reimbursed a total of 15 plantings with the tree reimbursement program, and we've also reimbursed 4 EAB removals for a total reimbursement of $1,968.53. No other items other than that with the reimbursement program.
Any questions or discussion? Thank you. Moving on to item 5.2, 2022 budget request. Anybody have discussion on what we should be doing with the budget request?
Chair Romaine, I'll just jump in and members that, we tentatively sent a memo to city administration that's in the packet, but action would be recommended that you take here at this meeting to confirm your request for 22 budget.
Any discussion on the proposed budget by Mr. Schmidt?
I think it looks good. I think we should go ahead with it that way.
Okay, is there a motion for acceptance and sending that on to the city manager?
Move to accept.
Okay, moved by Dearson,
I'll second that.
seconded by Body to send the budget request as put together by Park and Rec Director Schmitz. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 5.3, PUC update or news. Mr. Nelson is not in attendance. Does anybody have an update from the PUC? Okay. Moving on to item 5.4, Emerald Ash Borer update or news. Mr. Stadheim.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, I don't have any other updates other than what we discussed last month. So we're still awaiting guidance on if those additional funds trickle down to us or not. So we will keep you posted of any updates in the future.
Okay. Is there any news on a potential, another grant?
That's not that clear yet. We'll kind of wait and see how the budget situation shuffles out when all the dust settles here. So we'll find out more, I'm guessing, in the coming weeks.
Questions or discussion? Item,
I've got one more item
Yes.
here. Chair Romaine and members on the EAB, just a brief update from the Park and Recreation Department is we have met with a local contractor about inoculating some ash trees in North Park. And I'm awaiting the proposal, but I'm quite certain that we're going to be inoculating some ash trees in North Park this year through the Park and Recreation Department.
okay,
Are they doing injections on them, or?
I think that's still being reviewed, depending upon size of tree, I
Sure.
guess. There's a difference between, the ground treatment and the injection. So that proposal is still being prepared and will be sent to my office by the contractor.
Okay.
But there are some very nice ash shade trees in North Park that we're going to try to save.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, I have 2 trees in my front yard, and we went the inoculation route as well. So, so far so good, I guess. But
It works really well if you get the right injection systems to do that, and I've heard good results with that.
Thank you.
the Turner Hall grounds, all of the ash trees, except for one, that's a leaner in the Second South Street, it's either had the pour-on treatment or the injection. And I helped a friend of mine do the trees in his yard, so. Any other Emerald Ash Borer news or discussion? Thank you. Item 5.5 Buckthorn update. We usually rely on Commissioner Vancouver for that, and she is not able to be with us today. Did she send anything to you?
I have not seen, Chair Romaine and Commissioners, anything from Ellen Van Kira or Jordy Veit. The news from the Park and Recreation Department is our part-time summer seasonal worker, Brenda Longworth, is continuing to work on Buckthorn on various sections of the bicycle trail, southern portion of the recreational trail, South Market Park, and so on. And, we still have weed wrenches for loan for free to citizens through the Park and Rec Department. So progress continues to be made, and that's all I've got to add.
Thank you. Item 5.6 utility billing informational inserts. Mr. Nelson is not here, and I have had no activity on that because of the statements I made at the last meeting that it was somebody was else to pick up the yoke on this one. So the next one is probably August, and I don't know if anybody has decided on a topic or started the ball rolling with Mr. Nelson. Item 5.7 Big Tree Contest update. So I see the form is out here in our information. Well, I did find another Ohio Buckeye on the Turner grounds.
Oh, you did?
Probably the biggest one in the city.
Nobody found that last year.
Yeah. Has there been any interest in the big tree contest as of yet?
Chair Romaine and members, my understanding is we do have a few entries,
Okay.
yes. Those are coming into the Park and Recreation Department, and We are collecting those in a folder file, and my understanding is there are some in there. The deadline is coming up this month here in July. Let's look at that.
We'll have to pick a nice hot day to go look at Kentucky coffee trees.
Last day to enter is 2 weeks, or Monday, July 19.
Yep. Discussion or questions? New business, item 6.1, invasive species proposal. And we had tentatively planned to meet in a work session and work on this before this meeting, but we were unable to pull everybody together. And then because of Ellen asking for us to postpone this until she felt that she could participate, my suggestion is that we set this aside until the person who knows the most about invasive species and has been most active in it is available to work with us on this. So, discussion, questions?
Nope, I think that would work to find a better date for that.
Pardon me?
I said it'll work to find a better date for that, and we'll go ahead with it then.
Okay, so the next item, pardon me, is 6.2, Disease Tree Reimbursement Program, ash edits, and this looks like an edit to the Disease Tree Removal Program.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, yes, this was to formally add ash removal for EAB, infected trees, with the verbiage recommendations from the last meeting to specify those removal dates in the dormant season, beginning October 1 through May 1.
So the edit is directed at the time of year that
That's correct.
that the infected trees should be removed.
Yep.
And not a actual edit of the disease tree removal program.
Correct.
In terms of, I think we're in the agenda. It says
Well, it's adding ash to the
disease
to the
tree
list.
reimbursement program,
Yep.
ash edit. So it's not really a reimbursement edit. It's a timing.
It's
And
the
is that going to require a amendment to the city code?
yeah. They'll have to go to City Council.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a pretty important thing. My take on what the Department of Agriculture is saying on this is that they're encouraging people even not to fell the trees during that time if they can avoid it, and it's not a safety hazard. So, any discussion? We should probably have a motion supporting this, so I would entertain a motion to support the proposed language change in section 8.61 of the city code, as well as in the disease tree removal program explanations.
I'll make a motion to go ahead with that change.
Second?
Second.
Moved by Body and seconded by Dearson. Any other further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, motion passed. Is there any other new business to come before the Tree Advisory Commission? Okay, hearing none. The date of the next meeting is September 2nd. And just a reminder that I'll probably be trying, once we hear from Ellen that she's able to participate in the invasive species proposal work session, we'll be trying to pull that together. And I do recognize that the timing is probably best after 4:30 p.m. and we'll try to find a weekday that works. Anything for the good of the organization.
Can we get an update from either Jeff or Joe about ash borer within city limits?
Oh, sure.
We had an idea going into May, but maybe give us an update of presence in parks and presence in neighborhoods.
we haven't really gone out and examined trees all that much, but we're just operating under the assumption now that it's fully within the city. Just spots that we've seen it, it's pretty sporadic, so we're just kind of operating under that assumption right now. And each ash that comes down is examined and noted, so.
Yeah, I've noticed some trees dying in our neighborhood, not our neighborhood, particularly on Fender Drive, but on Lee Avenue. And the river bottoms look like they're really getting pounded, so.
I found one adult beetle on
Pardon me?
campus. I found one of the bright green beetles on campus one day.
Oh,
And
well,
couldn't get off my bike fast enough to capture it, but
I noticed that over the winter, the ash disappeared from the soccer field. So that's probably a preemptive move on that because, the first incidence of emerald ash borer is up in Oakwood, so it would be on campus fairly soon.
Maybe Commissioner Body has any information about Flandreau State Park in city limits with ash. Any information there?
Well, basically, we've been doing a lot of like preemptive moving of the ash trees, especially if they're looking like they're dying off or that type of, problems already. So we've been taking them out so we don't have the hazard tree issues and that type of stuff, especially in the campground. Out in the woods areas away from a lot of things, that's just going to be left to go. There's no way to really do anything in that area, so.
It appears some have been removed down in the picnic area, in the
that
main
was-
parking areas.
Yeah, and
Day use
then there's
area.
we're replanting trees up behind there. We didn't want to take them all out at one time, so we want to get something growing in between. So, that and it probably helps the city, people wouldn't like that too well if they're coming down there and all the trees are gone in them areas. So, yeah, I'll do a little at a time until we get it, so.
Thank you.
Any other business to come before the Tree Advisory Commission? Well, it's okay. I declare this meeting adjourned. You can answer your phone.